Good morning, my AI people. It is Watercolor Wednesday, and I am so excited to be here with you today. The sun is shining, and it's a great day here at AI HQ, okay? Lots of exciting things that we are working on here, and I just stay with us in the next several weeks and months because we have some really fun things coming down the pipeline for you all. Make sure that you check in with me in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. If you are going to be painting, I know you probably don't have these stamps quite yet, but I still think it's fun for you to paint with me. And actually, maybe some of you have the original stamp. Does anybody have the original wheel from the good old days? What year was that catalog? Was that a 90s? 97. 1997. Yes, okay. Well, I'm going to show this right here. Okay, do any of you have this little wheel here? Look how cute this is. I can't wait to show you the newer version of it. But if you have that, you are absolutely welcome to color along with me today. I'm going to show you just a really simple and sweet little project to use it with. Checking in with everybody in the comments. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, Cindy and Lori and Debbie. A sneak peek. Yes. You know what? Is there any sneak peeks or any hints that I can give as to what might be
coming down the pipe?
I mean, could there be something for, I don't know, Mother's Day coming? There very well could. I can't say. I don't know.
The chances are very high.
The chances are high. So if that's kind of, a holiday that you're looking forward to, you're going to definitely want to stick around with us on that. But you know me, anytime that you ask for a hint, I'm always going to give you something. So anytime I'm on, you're welcome to ask. And then I'll look straight over at the queen bee who's sitting across from me right now. And I'll say, tell us, what can you tell us about the exciting things that are coming? Because for some reason, she has an endless supply of ideas and projects that she just reaches down into her brain and pulls out for us. I don't know how. I mean, the things that she just finished a few days ago that will be rolling out to you in the next couple of weeks are just going to blow your mind. You just stick around with us, okay? I'll just leave it at that. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Judy. Vicky. Vicky's saying, I'm glad you endorsed the milk cans as a throwback. You know what? As I was looking at that page, I'm like, oh, that would be really cute. And so don't worry, I have just passed that along to the powers that be here. So you never know. You never quite know what's coming down as far as throwbacks are concerned. And if you guys have any other ideas of things that you want to see make a comeback on throwback, the next month's throwback, let us know. We love your comments. We just, when they're funny, we just laugh. We read them all together. So we just, thanks for your encouragement and thanks for just chatting with us and engaging with us. It's, it's like an AI family, and we just love you guys so much. So thanks for joining me today. I'm going to switch my camera around so that I can remind you about the throwback this month. Okay, let's try to see if I can do this here. Okay, yes, success. So some of you guys were on yesterday for the throwback and you got to see this beautiful project here. Let me zoom in. Can you even handle this? This would make the most beautiful image to be framed and put up in your house, right? I mean, if I was doing this, I would be adding tons of yellow, tons of color on here for the trees. I got lots of eclectic things in my house. Lots of just, colorful and what's the word? Maximalist on certain things. Yeah. Odd.
Eclectic, yes.
Yes, eclectic, I guess, is the best word for it. So for me, this would be just perfect for my wall at home. And just, that's just to remind you guys, especially when you're doing these bigger projects, get a mat and put it in a frame. And actually we should do this, and I should show you it next time, because this is just the perfect project. These bigger ones, especially, you know, the last couple of months of throwbacks have just been perfect for that. So just as a reminder that you can do that, okay? Let's see here. Cindy's asking, Kendra's teacup stamp. Any release date yet?
Not yet.
But she wants, yes, that is in the works.
She's got to reach out to hospice, find out what they need,
yes,
and then what's a good time to do it with them. So she's sort of
okay, did you all hear that? So when was that? Was that a couple years ago now? Like 3 years ago, maybe?
Yes.
Oh my word. Wow, time just flies.
It's been more than 3.
Yeah, it was before she went to medical school. Okay, so she released an exclusive teacup little fairy house, fairy garden situation. And it was so cute. And you guys absolutely loved it. And I think it was released for a few days as a fundraiser for a place that she was volunteering at the time, which is hospice facility. And it was a place that she felt very, very passionate about and wanted to raise money to purchase something specific at that time. And I think we did that.
Oh my gosh.
We blew it out of the water. Yes.
They had no idea.
And they were just...
September 2021.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Did you hear that? September 2021 is when it came out. So lots and lots and lots of you guys are asking for it to come back, and she would love to do that as another fundraiser. And so I don't know if you heard the conversation, but she is checking in with them to see what exactly it is that they need, what's the timeline and all of that. So it is coming. And so thank you guys for continuing to ask about that. Please keep doing that so we can make sure that we get that scheduled, because that is it's so important. Anywho, back to the throwback here. So this is the throwback stamp. This is available until tomorrow night, and then it goes away forever. And just a reminder, with the purchase of this grist mill, you get this little, I'm calling him Brother Bear because he's just so cute. This has got to be one of my favorite little stamps that we have ever released. It's just the cutest little thing without being too cutesy like that. The too cutesy style isn't totally me. And this is perfect. Okay. So you're going to want to get this. Okay. You're going to want to get this. Again, if you saw the sample, it is good for so many different types of projects. As you can see, she took this front out and made it a winter Christmas scene. And it's just, it just blows me away, and it's not too early to start your Christmas cards, especially if you're making them like this detailed. Oops, I got a hair on here. This detailed and, this much work that's going to go in. You're going to need to start in April to get them done in December. So if you're on the fence about getting this, I highly encourage it. You're not going to regret it. These are very, exclusive, here for 3 days and then gone back into the vault. Okay. In addition to this cute little grist mill, which, by the way, if you missed that, there was a tutorial on it yesterday for the throwback. So go ahead and watch that if you did miss it. Also out this month is a second throwback, a smaller one, because lots of you have asked for this as well. Okay. This is the wagon wheel. And let me show you again what the OG was. And that's this guy right here. Okay. Let me just tell you, this one is so much easier to color than this one. Obviously, this was not created for watercolor. And so it's got lots of extra lines. It's very, very cute. You could do a really cute coloring with Copics or whatever. But, when you have so many lines, it makes it a little challenging to watercolor. And so this is the updated version of it. Again, only available until tomorrow night. So you're going to want to grab this as well. Okay. And this is what we're going to color today. So just a sweet little project that would be good for, a masculine card, or as you can see, I'm going to do a more feminine version of it today. But see, you could do this for, Father's Day. Lots of you all ask about ideas for more masculine cards, and this would be great. But again, you can see this sample here on the packaging. Okay, I'm going to do a little different today, a little bit different, but same idea, because we're going to put a bird on it. Okay, we always, if you're ever wondering, you're ever on the fence, should I add a bird? The answer is always yes. Okay. Not only should you add a bird, but a yellow bird. So we're going to add those two things, and it's going to be the cutest little project today, and just really simple. You know, there's a few things to think about. As you can see right here, this wheel is a full wheel. And when I stamp this, I didn't stamp the bottom, okay? Because you want it to be sitting in the ground, okay? And so we're gonna have grass all over it, just like this here, okay? That's the biggest lesson when you're doing this wheel. Otherwise, it looks like it's rolling down the road, okay? It's fallen off a wagon and it's rolling down the road if you don't ground it in grass. Okay, so that is what we are going to do today. So let's get started on that. Let me check the comments quick. Yay, Velda! You ordered your throwbacks yesterday. I'm so glad you love it. I know, honestly, it's really hard not to absolutely love every new release that comes out, whether it's a throwback or, you know, whatever it is. I love everything. Absolutely everything. Okay, so again, here are the throwbacks. Go grab these. These are live on the website right now. Couple stamps that I'm going to be using today. Okay, we're going to be using this little branch. This branch set is a classic. Okay, you need this. If for some reason you don't have this, you can always draw them in with your fine tip. Okay, right here. Obviously, this is getting worn off because I've been using this so much, but don't let it stop you from making this project just because you may not have every single thing, you know, exactly the way I'm using it. Okay, you can use any bird here. You could put any animal. You could put like a little dog right here, a little rabbit, whatever you want. Okay, use your imagination, but this is the one I'm going to use today, and this is 4964 branches set. Also, I'm going to be using from the OG flower set 4052. I'm going to be using this long stem here, okay? But just this side of it, okay? It's been a while since we've used this, and so I just want to pull it out. Probably most of you have that set. Let's see here. We're going to use this little grass from foliage set 4051. Again, a classic here, okay? Hello, Kate. Welcome, welcome. She is saying this is her first live. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the AI Club. It is a great place to be where everybody is sweet and encouraging. And you know, you don't find many places like that on the internet. So welcome, welcome. Where are you watching from? Okay, so in addition, I'm going to be using my vine. I love these little vines from foliage set 5126. And then here's my bird right here. Okay, you could put, honestly, this would be really cute. The little butterfly, cut it out, pop it up. Just like, actually, just like this little bear. Be cute by this little wagon wheel too. Okay, so use your imagination. I'm just going to show you how to do it. Okay. Again, here's the one for the packaging. More simple, a little bit more masculine. We're going to brighten up the colors, add in a flower, and then you can see both next to each other how they look a little different. Okay, zooming in. Going to grab some coffee. Is anybody having their coffee as we speak right now? I have mine, and it is very necessary today. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you. My goodness. This is also available on the website right now. Okay, so these are the collectibles. This is the little seahorse. I think, Debbie, did you post your project with this yesterday? I think I saw that on Facebook. That was so cute. Oh my goodness, that was so cute. You can make lots and lots of cute little things with these sea creatures. So this is the seahorse, also available until tomorrow night. Okay, then it goes bye-bye again. Okay, let's see. Shirley is asking, what is the number for the bird? Great question. Here it is, 5561. This is the birds and bugs set. Okay, there are...
These come with dies.
Oh, these come with dies. Okay, so you don't have to cut it out yourself.
No, you don't have to cut it out.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I stand corrected. These come with dies and stamps. So this is a great set to have. And actually, you could pop this little bird up. That would be cute.
That would be really cute.
Yes, so this is again 5561. You can use any bird you want. You could use one of these flying birds too. Anything your little heart desires. Okay. Ruth Ann, hopefully that answers your question. Sherry is drinking coffee with me. Okay. Kathy, are you having your... Yes, and the Queen Bee. Kathy's having her Mountain Dew. Was it Mountain...
Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Coke or something, or Chick-fil-A cup.
Oh, Kathy,
She
that's
was
so
on
funny. I
yesterday.
always laugh at that.
Telling me that she had her Chick-fil-A cup and her diet something sitting
Well,
on the
Kathy
beach.
is a good 2 hours ahead of us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's not as... Is she 3 hours? Okay.
She's in Florida right now on vacation.
Kathy, are you in Florida? Oh
At
my
the beach.
goodness. At the beach.
Yeah.
She's probably not watching us right now. She's
Well,
too busy.
she did yesterday with her toes in the
Did
sand,
she?
said.
Well, Kathy, as much as I would love to have you watching, I hope you're not. I hope you're just enjoying the beautiful sunshine. Okay, Terry is having a Diet Pepsi because it's 1:15 in New York. Okay. I had a Diet Pepsi the other morning and it just was heaven. It got me through my 3 loads of laundry in the morning. That were just piled up on the couch. Does anyone have a pile of laundry on their couch right now?
I did live that way. You grew up in that.
Growing up, I
environment.
always remember having to dig through the couch for my clothes.
And then it would fall on the ground.
Yes.
And then it
Yes.
would get walked on.
Yes. And
then-
yes, that is the same as in my house right now. Except the difference is growing up, we didn't have a dog in the house.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So if anything is on the ground, it is getting trampled on by 8 little paws. And it's going to have to be rewashed.
It's going to have to be rewashed.
Everything has to
Yes.
be rewashed
And you
in
could
my
never
house.
find in the giant pile 2 socks that matched. Ever.
Never.
Ever.
Why is that? Where do they go? Where do the socks go, everybody?
They go
Where?
into sock,
The black hole.
sock black hole. And the dryer eats them.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny. Yes, and I'm continuing the cycle. So I'm glad to pass that tradition on to my children of just never having... Gosh, Kendall's drawer. The other day, she's like, Mom, I have no pants in my drawer at all. I'm like, oh, just check the floor. Look, we're all just trying to survive, okay?
I know.
We're trying to get through the days and
let's
just
be real.
make it to the weekend.
Let's be real. It's a struggle.
Oh my goodness.
And now I gotta go heat my cup of coffee up for the 8th time this morning.
Okay, are you drinking decaf though?
Yes,
That's the question.
yes.
Okay, you guys, back to the project here. We've got some 969 we're going to use for the wheel. We're going to color it very similar to this, okay? We're going to keep it fairly light. Now, if you're doing this, do not make this dark. Super dark brown. That is just, it's going to be too harsh, okay? So just keep it light, keep it, multi-tone. You can see here that I went in with my fine tip of my twin tone, and that is where we get the really dark to light. Okay, this is what we're making today. Sorry, you guys. I didn't have my sample here in front of me, but this is what we're gonna do. Do you see? This is more masculine card, and this is a more feminine card, okay? So just so many different things that different types of projects that we can make, okay? So just to show you, that's the direction we're going here. And I stamped these with my gray pen, okay? With the N65, okay? You can obviously use your gray stamp pad. That would be fabulous for this because again, the lines are very thin here. And so, when you add color, you're not going to see that. So totally up to you. Whatever you're most comfortable with, you can use. But any gray here would be great. Or of course you can use the combination of the blue and the brown, okay? Diana's, she's saying she just took a load of laundry out of the dryer before we started here, dumped it on the bed so I could watch. Now I have 2 cats sleeping in the closet. That was my life yesterday. Charlie, okay, you guys know Charlie. I gotta bring her back on because she's getting big. She's getting so cute and big and just so naughty. And just an absolute menace in my house. But every time I put a new load of laundry on the couch, she would just go make herself comfortable on there. Just so annoying. I'm like, just quit it.
Because it's warm.
Because it's warm and cozy. Exactly. Oh, that's so funny. We all just kind of live the same life, you know? Everybody
The
has
struggle
these
is
similar
for
experiences.
everyone.
That's right. Okay, so I'm going to take my brown and I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not really going to be pulling the color out of the lines here because it's, you know, it's very small and I don't really need to do that. Okay, so I'm just going here just lightly. And again, this is just my 969 and I got my number 1 brush. Just go around these little spokes here. And a lot of the dimension, like I said, will be added when we do our twin tone at the end, okay? And again, when you stamp this, you want to not ink the bottom, okay? Just as a reminder, because this is sitting in the grass, okay? It's anchored down into the grass. Again, I'm just not really that worried about this here because I know that I'm going to go in with my dark brown. Okay. Okay. Yes, okay, Shirley's saying she empties her clean clothes on the...
Get control of the laundry.
Well,
that's always the nemesis.
You know, it's hard when you are trying to run a business in your house, which is what was happening growing up.
That's true.
You know, business, yes, my mother was always home, but she always had 800 things that she had to just do right away. So laundry was so
far down the list.
Far down on the list. Okay, the image is not clear. Let me zoom in a little. Let me see if that helps. It looks like it's okay on my end, but again, I don't know.
YouTube, if she's...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Try going to YouTube.
Try going to YouTube. That's a great suggestion. If on Facebook it's, you know, not showing up great, you could always try that. Okay, so I'm taking my brown. And again, there's not much to this part, okay? We're going to go over the inside with the blue. But I want a nice little soft layer. Because obviously this is going to be darker inside and then in between these little spokes. Okay. Oh, I'm going off here. Let's see. Now, let's see, what's the question here? Jeanette, oh wait. Kren is asking, she's wondering something, but what's the question? I missed that. She's responding to Cindy's comment, but I can't see that. So go ahead and re-ask that question. I'm happy to answer it, whatever it is. Sorry that it's glitchy on YouTube too. That's not good. You know, we rely on tech, but sometimes it fails us. Okay, so I'm taking my 565. I'll just keep going, and then you guys can just let me know how the connection is happening here. Okay, so I'm just going to go on top of this. Sorry, I keep going up here.
It looks clear to me.
Okay. Just maybe reload it.
Okay, I'll turn it. But it looks clear on the... I'll turn it.
Try reloading it if anyone is having issues. Okay. So you can see, I'm again keeping this very light, okay? Because we're going to add lots of different colors. Lots of bright colors. So we don't want this to be too crazy. Okay. So just, you know, think of the areas that are darker. You can always just go in with your brush here. Definitely under here. Okay, you know, again, don't overdo it and don't go too dark. Okay, so right now, that's all we're gonna kind of do on that. And if there's anything that we see as we're adding grass and vines and stuff that we need to add, then I'll just come back and add that. But right now, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and take my twin tone. And I'm going to move that out of the way. And I'm going to add some really dark areas, okay? And you will see that immediately after adding these, you start to see the perspective and it just kind of comes to life. And just think about, right in between here. Again, the drawing is already kind of done for you, and so you know where to put these. Okay? And then I might just add a little here, from where these little spokes meet. There. Okay. And any type of other marks that you want to add. But you can see how that, just doing these tiny little lines, again, brings it to life. And then you get the shadows and the light to dark effects, which is so important here. And you can always just, add any type of, because this is very rustic, right? So you can just add any type of things, okay? But we're, again, going to be adding grass and flowers and foliage. Okay, it's still, I'm so sorry, I don't know. Maybe if I zoom out a little, I don't know. Is this blurry for anyone else? It's just, it's hard to see because on my screen it's
my
not.
screen doesn't show blurry. Does yours, Joel?
Sorry about that. Okay, somebody's asking, what do we do before the twin tones? Exactly. What did we do before them? Okay, what did we do? We didn't have the proper dark to light. And wow, I'm just getting brown ink on all of these. All these samples here. Does anyone else just get ink like all over their fingers? Kate, I agree. You have to have that in order to make it pop, especially when you're kind of keeping it fairly light, because of what the other things that we're adding. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the bird. This is 993. Obviously some yellow. More yellow, always more yellow. And I'm just going to take my number 4. You could take a 1 if you want. Julie, yes, you understand. You understand. Messy hands, ink-filled fingers means it's been a great day. So, okay. Now, you guys should see my hands when I'm recording my videos for my classes. By the end of the day, they are just absolutely covered in ink. Okay, so we're going to just make this little guy all yellow. And again, this is why I stamped him in gray, because I didn't want any like super harsh lines on him. Okay, so keep his face like fairly light. You can add a little detail here if you want. And you could make this bird honestly any color. Any color you want. It doesn't have to be realistic. It really doesn't. You want a green bird with a pink cheek? Go for it. I'm going to add just a little bit. Pink or red for a cheek is totally fine. Just make it light. It does not matter which one you're using. Okay. Be very light here. And you can always use a number 1 here if you want. But I love the little addition of color, okay? When you add that little pink cheek. I'm going to take my twin tone and I'm going to just go over his eye and his beak there, okay? Absolutely. If any of you wants to be in the drawing to win this, go ahead and just put it in the comments. Let's see. Now, And normally I would go over his little legs with the twin tone too, but actually they stamped great, so I don't need to do that. Okay, now we're almost done, you guys. Just a few little steps here, and we're gonna call it good. We are going to be adding the grass, okay? And again, this is grass from Foliage Set 1. And okay, so you can see here that obviously, you know, again, don't ink the bottom of this because you want it grounded in the grass. When we add the grass, okay, the temptation is going to be to stamp a line of grass here, okay, a flat line. Try not to do that because again, we want the perspective, okay? So try to do it like at a little angle like this. It's much more like visually interesting if you do that. You can see what I'm saying, just a little bit of an angle instead of just like straight across, okay? Because this is at an angle because we're looking at the inside here, okay? So it doesn't matter. I'm going to use two different greens, okay? I'm going to use the cool tone for the vines, and I'm going to use the warm tone 177 for the grass, okay? Thank you, Tony. Absolutely, you are entered into the drawing. Okay, so again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to add one little run of grass, and then I'm going to just do the same thing here. Okay. But you can see I'm not just going in a straight line, okay? We're kind of bringing it down like this. Now we're going to take our number 4. Make sure to wash it up because we don't want that pink that we just used in there, in the grass. We're just going to pull this up here. You know, you can be like pretty loose when you're doing this. You can bring these lines down too. Okay? Again, there's no like exact way to do grass. Grass just grows however we like it to grow, okay? But again, because we didn't ink the bottom, it's now firmly like planted in this grass, okay? Which is why it's standing up. So just remember that. I'm just gonna say that over and over again for you all. Okay, now I'm gonna take, this is my little, what is this? This is a stick, a branch. And we're gonna add. And I like to just stamp that off a little bit so it's not too dark. Okay, then I'm going to just add one here. And again, I'm using this brown 969. And again, I'm stamping it off just very lightly. And I'm going to put like a little here. You know, again, it doesn't really matter. Sorry, I'm headed off the page here. When I'm zoomed in, I tend to do that. Sorry about that. Wow, my coffee is definitely very lukewarm right now. So, wowzers. I guess it's better than nothing. Okay, and now, actually, before I add my vines, I'm going to grab my palette again, and I'm going to, it's bothering me that this tone on the inside is the same as this. So I'm going to darken this up a little bit just on the inside of this wheel, okay? Yes, Velda. Okay, Velda's saying she loves simple scenes. I agree. It's good to have all different types of tutorials. And we were actually just talking about this morning, that we want to continue to add the more in-depth, which would be this. Most of the projects that the Queen Bee will do will be more in-depth and more complex. And I like to do the more simple because I think it's important to have kind of both in your back pocket, depending on how much time you have, depending on what kind of a day it is. Sometimes you only have, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 to create something. And so something like this is just, it's so easy. It's very hard to mess up. And it's fun. I think it makes a great gift. But again, I'm just going in here just a little darker. Again, I don't want to be too intense with making this wheel dark brown, but I do feel that it needs a little bit to get the proper perspective. Okay, I'm gonna do the same right here. And you know, when you do these twin tone lines, you can always soften them. But again, you don't really need to, but you can. Okay, and do you see, I think that made a difference. And now, because it's a little darker than the outside, now you really get that perspective of it being inside, okay? Okay, now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put that palette away. We're gonna grab our vine, and you can take any vine you want. If you only have this foliage set 1, you can use this one. Just use the top of it right here, okay? It totally does not matter. And actually, you can use any foliage you want. I mean, think about what foliage looks like in nature. It's all shapes, all colors, all sizes. And because this is a close-up, you are going to see a lot of detail. So that would be my only caution, is if you're picking any other foliage, just pick something where you can see the detail, because it is close-up. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 249, and again, I'm just going to color the top, and I'm going to use it with these branches. Sorry, I'm way up in the corner again. Sorry about that, you guys. But again, when you stamp these branches here, this is your guide, okay? This is your guide to putting your vines here. And there's nothing to it, you guys, honestly. It's such a beautiful little scene. And you notice I'm leaving a little bit of space here because I want to put that flower right here, okay? I'm going to put a little more maybe down here. Okay, and then maybe one darker one. Okay. But again, we're going to add that white paint with that, okay? Excuse me, man. Got a frog in my throat here. Thank you, Tina. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love your encouragement. You guys are the best. And just as a side note, I think it's so important to use different colors of green because it adds more interest. To me, this adds more like visual interest because it's a little bit different, okay? And it differentiates the two types of foliage, okay? And actually, I might just one more. Let's add one more. Just kind of more like in front here. Okay. And again, just gonna kind of blur that out a little bit. But remember, we're gonna go in with our white paint. So we're not really worried about it getting too muddy, okay? Now, we are going to be adding our flower, okay? And remember this, these long stems are so cute. You can add any type of accent flower you want, any. And I'm gonna take my green here, my 177, and I'm gonna ink the stem. Actually, I'm gonna not ink this right here. So you can, I got 2 pens and, oh, you can't see, I got 2 pens in my hand here. Okay, and I'm just coloring the top again because that gives me much more control. Whoops. This guy likes to come off of my stamp here. So let's color these flowers in. Perfect. I like to test it just to make sure. That also gets it pretty firm on your block. Okay, so this is just going to go right alongside here. Like how cute. Oh, sorry. Gosh, I'm too high. How cute is that? Just a simple little flower, and you can see the pink ties in with his little pink cheek. And then we're going to take our little brush, and we don't have to do much with these, excuse me, with these little flowers. Just going to fill in the middle part, okay? And that really makes it vibrant. Okay? Now, I'm going to add in the sky, and then we're going to do our white paint. Okay? And then we're going to be done. Just very, very simple. So I'm going to grab my palette again. And I couldn't decide which color sky I want, so I'm going to do a mixture of the 526, and I already have 565 here. Okay, so I'm going to mix them together, and I'm just going to add a little bit. Now, you don't need to add your sky in every single one of these spaces. Okay, in fact, don't do that. It's too much. It's too literal. So we just need a little. Make sure you have a decent amount of water here. You go around the bird. And I just, a little bit up here. And that's really all I'm going to do as far as like adding it inside here, okay? And I'm going to do a little more here. Okay. And that's really all you have to do as far as the colors go. Okay, and now we're just going to add our white paint, and that's going to be it. This sweet little project. And I think obviously the white paint adds a lot of dimension, because it can get kind of heavy when you're adding vines and grass and sky. Absolutely, Catherine, thank you. If anyone else wants to be entered to win this project, just let me know in the comments. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and dot this area, and even in the grass here, it breaks it up, and it adds a lot of dimension there. Look how cute that is. Just a simple little scene here. And that's it. You want to sign it, of course. I don't have my pencil here, which is what I normally would use. So I'll use my fine tip. And that's it. That's it. A simple little project. If you've got some grass, a vine, and a flower, that's all you need. Because look, this one, we didn't even add a bird to that one. Just some cute little branches and a beautiful sky behind it. Okay. Same with this. This makes it a little bit more feminine, but would be still a cute card for anybody. All right. I'm going to turn my camera around. Let's see here. My mouse has disappeared, but it's back. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for following along with me today as we went through the second throwback of the month. So go ahead and grab that on the website if you haven't done that yet. They're available until tomorrow night, and they go away for good after that. So if you are on the fence, I highly recommend it. As you can see, super easy to color. Lots of different types of projects you could do with this. You could add lots more florals, make it much more colorful. You could add many more animals to it. Hanging out, the little sleeping critters would be really cute too. So anyway, thank you again, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and we will see you